Hello, you beautiful nerds.
Hello, motherfucker.
Who doesn't love to see superheroes slug it out with the forces of evil? It's one of many things we love about comic book movies. I recently started thinking about some of my favorite fights, and I decided to make a list, check it twice, rewrite the list, criticize the list, drink some more, get blackout drunk, wake up, write more, and now I have my top 10. So pull up your favorite watching chair, because we're gonna count down my Number 10, Thor vs. Hulk. Thor Ragnarok. Everybody loves Thor Ragnarok. It's pretty fucking fun. And this was one of the best moments in the entire movie. When we get the surprise that the champion is none other than... I mean, it's a surprise if you didn't see any of the trailers or commercials or interviews beforehand. But regardless, this is a super fun fight. These guys have fought before, but this one had interesting circumstances because Thor has been depowered because he no longer has his hammer. We still don't get a definite answer who's the stronger character, but that would only happen if they fought to the death, and we don't really want to see that, do we? It's a little low on the list because there's a lot of CGI in this fight.
Big CGI fight coming up.
But it's still my favorite fight from either character. Number 9, the opening scene of Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I gotta be honest, I don't really like this movie. It's a bit much. It thinks it's way funnier than it is and more touching than it is, when most of the time it's just corny. But the opening credits are legitimately funny, and this scene is one of the best action sequences I've ever seen. Baby Groot usually makes everything better, and having him be the focus of the fight for the first half is a hilariously fun idea. I also love this moment in the fight. The whole letting a monster eat you so you can kill it from the inside thing happens a lot in movies, like The Mandalorian just did. But I love this logical and funny twist on the trope.
He said the skin is too thick to be pierced from the outside, so
That doesn't make any sense.
I tried telling
Skin
him
is
that!
the same level of thickness from the inside as from the outside.
I realize that!
Number 8, Wonder Woman, No Man's Land.
Stay here. I'll go ahead.
When the guys were saying this is no man's land, no man can cross it, I was totally expecting her to say, but I am no man.
This is my fight.
I mean, I'm glad she didn't say that, but I felt like that's where it was going. Everything from her stepping onto the field to her fucking up those soldiers in the courtyard is absolutely thrilling. Jenkins uses that signature Zack Snyder slow-mo effect really well to emphasize the impact of each blow. And I straight up dirt face when she charged through that bell tower.
Oh, damn.
Wonder Woman is a pretty fucking cool character. They managed to represent her pretty well in this flick, and this scene is a great way for her to introduce herself into the world. Number 7, Blade, the club scene. There are actually a lot of cool fights in the Blade franchise, even in the movie that's not very good. Call me crazy, but I still think that the first one is the best one. First off, this room is covered in blood. How does nigga's boots so clean? This nigga's clean as fuck. I like this dude. This movie did black trench coats, sunglasses, and bullet time a year before The Matrix, and it all just makes the character look so incredibly cool. The fight choreography is really dope, but Wesley Snipes brings a lot to the performance and adds an extra intensity and ferocity to every punch. And this shot right here is sick. This scene says so much about the character and is also an awesome way to immediately show how badass he is. Number 6, Batman vs. Bane, The Dark Knight Rises.
Let's not stand on ceremony here, Mr. Wayne.
A lot of people rag on this flick, but I actually kind of dig it. And this fight is so good because it sucks so fucking bad. Later in the movie, Batman fights Bane and Bruce wins, but not in this one. Not only is the fight itself unexpected because Bruce and the audience are all jazzed up on this team up sequence with Catwoman, shit is pretty fucking cool. They working together, they a couple, they working together as a couple. It's pretty fucking cool.
I'll get you, bitch.
On top of being ambushed, Bruce gets his fucking ass whooped. He's been out of the game for a minute, and he's not really a match for Bane. Batman pulls out every trick in the book, but Bane mops him up without a problem. And the cherry on top is that we get an homage to one of the most grisly storylines in Batman's narrative history.
I was wondering what would break first. Your spirit or your body?
Number 5, Nightcrawler in the White House, X2. X2 is one of the best X-Men movies we got from the Patrick Stewart, Hugh Jackman era. And this opening scene really set the tone for the rest of the flick. We get a new mutant we haven't seen before doing a crazy power we haven't seen before. It's really creative the way that they display the power too. How they'll knock someone out, then kick someone else on the other side of the room before the first guy even falls on the ground. The fact that it's taking place in the most secure place in America is also a great gauge of his power level. The Quicksilver scene from Days of Future Past is great for the same reason, but between the two, this is my fave. Number 4, Spider-Man vs. Doc Ock, Spider-Man 2.
Where is she? Oh, she'll be just fine.
Let's talk.
This sequence is still one of the best fight scenes in movie history. I love a good on top of a train fight. That's a weird trope that's in a lot of movies. And the choreography does a lot to display the unique abilities of both characters. And this shot is, of course, iconic. Not only does it look great, it's the perfect scene of Peter being a hero. He's not only fighting the bad guys, he's also saving the innocent. In these big superhero movies, the heroes are usually doing one or the other, but very rarely the latter.
Can I help you?
Why, yes, you can. I'm here to report a terrible crime.
Harley Quinn versus everybody in the jail. Birds of Prey. This scene fucks. I was so impressed with the execution of this fight. It's a brutal fight, but it's also friggin' hysterical. When Harley sniffs the coke and it's like the spinach to her Popeye and starts going ape shit with the bat, I laughed like a goddamn crazy person. The scene was just so creative and surprisingly practical. In Suicide Squad, Harley didn't seem like she was all that, but in this they gave her a proper room clearing scene. It really displays Harley's acrobatic athleticism in a way that's not showy, but still damn impressive. Tony versus Cap. I've already talked about how much I love this movie. It's probably still my favorite Marvel movie. This flick has a lot of sick action sequences, and everyone else might put that airport fight on their list, but I gotta give it to this three-way fight at the end. It just has so much emotional weight to it. First off, we're given a red herring in this form of this squad of super soldiers, but turns out the Winter Soldiers aren't the bad guys. Those guys are super dead. The bad guy is secrets. So when Tony finds out that Bucky killed his mom, he loses it.
This isn't gonna change what happened. I don't care. He killed my mom.
He's right.
And Cap tries to save his new best friend from doing something he might regret, like committing murder, while also trying to save his old best friend from, well, getting murdered.
What you did all those years, it wasn't you. You didn't have a choice.
He's right.
I know. But I did it.
They're both right.
This fight is all over the place, and I love every bit of it. Not to mention that it has some of my favorite quotes from the entire MCU.
Do you even remember them? I remember all of them. He's my friend. So was I. I could do this all day.
Number 1, Avengers Endgame, the final battle.
Let's kill him properly this time.
I only wanted to put one Avengers movie fight on the list, and that was tough because there are a lot of incredible Avengers action sequences. It's kind of their thing. Fights from Infinity War and the first Avengers flick almost made the top of the list. I even almost trolled you guys and put this as my favorite fight scene, just because I actually really do love this scene, and it's sort of a fight. Technically, but I don't want to do that. That would be shitty. Nah, I'm gonna go with the obvious choice here. For this entry, I'm talking about everything that happens between this point and this point. Besides having all the feels, because this was the culmination of over 20 movies and a bajillion characters, it was just so much fucking fun to watch. Everyone gets a chance to shine, if only for a moment, and even if it doesn't make sense. Like trying to get the gauntlet to the Ant-Man time machine wouldn't work. We already established that that time machine doesn't work earlier in the movie. Also, that shouldn't be a priority. You can just do that later after you rebuild the time machine that actually works. Those are nitpicks though. That doesn't ruin this shit. Or this shit. Or this. I mean, there's a lot of cool shit in this scene, man. When I saw this in the theaters, I watched all 3 Avengers movies leading up to it, and seeing the big 3 face off against their biggest fear from just a few Avengers movies ago is incredible. There's so many nods to previous movies. I mean, this is stuffed with fan service, but it's done in a thoughtful way where if you don't notice it, it doesn't take anything away from the scene, but if you do notice it,
Total sploosh.
Actually, yeah, gotta give him the sploosh.
little stuff like,
We haven't met yet. I'm Clint.
I don't care.
Clint!
Give it to me.
It was a matter of national security. The Cap needed help. So.
Cap?
Captain America. Captain Cap. It's what we call him. Maybe 10 minutes.
We're on it, Cap.
On your left.
Don't say it. Don't you say it.
On your left.
Come on!
On your left.
Captain Sam, can you hear me? On your left.
My nigga.
The MCU is far from over, but this capped off the end of a saga. The era of the Infinity Stones is over, and it ended with a fucking bang.
Iron Man.
And whatever my equivalent of sploosh is, which I guess is just sploosh. Only with semen.
Okay, that's it for this list. I'm sure it'll change in a year after we get 13 more comic book movies. But whatever, I had fun. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that obligatory YouTube shit. And if you have any ideas for any other lists, I'll be down to hear it. I'll definitely be ranking all the DC films when I'm done watching all those. Except Joker. But if you have any other ideas, let me know. Anyway, stay safe, my little super friends, and may the Force be with you.